Hey gang, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I am continuing my Dimashathon from Huatulco, Oaxaca, Mexico. And next up is Ave Maria. Now, this is not the typical Ave Maria we think of Pavarotti doing, or Beyonce. And there's a lot of people who've done Ave Maria from all around the world, different spectrums, I should say. But this is vowels only for the most part, a reinterpretation of Ave Maria. And I just want to dive right in. Now, this is a really popular piece. I got asked a lot by you guys to do this. We had to do some magic as far as just doing some visuals that were different than the concert that he did, because we kept getting it rejected. No matter how many times I tried to do it, it got rejected by YouTube because of the publishing. So we were able to use the audio portion and add our own video footage, which are just pictures, etc. But I didn't want that to preclude our ability or eclipse our ability to be able to do the song. So we're gonna dive right in. Here we go. Dimash, Ave Maria. Now we have crazy sensitivity, extraordinary passion, incredible command of the voice, right? And then even when he has the breath, yeah, it's all that air, which is really cool, right? Right? So this ebb and flow and going back and forth, and crescendo, diminuendo, crescendo, diminuendo, it goes in piano, forte, back and forth, is absolutely extraordinary. We did Singers Then and Now, if you guys remember, and we did Luciano Pavarotti, which is one, and I wanted to get to Placido Domingo and Maria Callas and some others. But he's got this command. I want to do this one more time because I want to show you something that you may or may not have noticed. But watch this. Now, what you probably didn't notice is the vowel exchanges. We talk about this in my course like crazy. Within the vowel exchanges, you can get different colors of the vowel, okay, which connotes, or not connotes, but gives you the ability to have different sensitivities in the way the vowel projects. So he starts, so it's O-oo, so it goes O-oo-ah, right, so you go ooh, ah, ah, ooh, and then back to ooh at the top. Right, so he's able to color those sounds in such a way that it gives a different dimension for the passion and sensitivity, the volume, the projection, the color, and the warmth of the sound. But you probably don't know that all that's going on, but there's a lot of technicality behind what he's singing. He's not just singing the ah vowel going all the way through. And the reason this is extraordinary is because for you singers out there, what you're going to find is there is a very specific rule of how to sing in bel canto and how to get to particular vowel sounds. Now, you've heard me say this a million times. All vowel sounds stem from it's the la, ah. But that vowel, ah, has a vowel exchange. So it starts big on ah on the bottom. And as we're going up the food chain, meaning height in the scale, la, Here we go, la, ah, and oo as I went up the pyramid of the vowel, and then I reopen that vowel on the way back down. Well, that is precisely what's going on here. Now, if you get really good at this, you can actually do these different vowel exchanges in different vocal fox, different registrations. So he's doing that here, and he's using a soprano approach. We cover this in my course also on how to get to these different vowel exchanges as a tenor singing in the soprano range, okay? I do it all the time. Whenever you see me sing up top, I have to, because if the vowel's too big up top, it splats or becomes top heavy. It's not tenable or not sustainable. Now, I might do it for an effect sometimes in a rock song to keep the vowel open like Dio, but when I go really high like he does, I have to pare the vowel down and close it off. So if I were to do this vowel on just an ah vowel, you probably thought you heard only one vowel. It would sound like this. Ha! Really one-dimensional, kind of annoying, right? But he doesn't do that. He goes, right? And you hear this beauty of one vowel, how much that one vowel can morph and have all these different exchanges in the context of just singing a single vowel through a whole, passage in this case, right? So I wanted to mention that as we're moving along so we don't just glaze right over this stuff. By the way, something else. I'm not looking to bag on other vocal coaches, but I'm just not hearing anybody talk about this stuff and physically demonstrating this on the internet. And I do this in my course, I do it with my students, and the only way you're really gonna learn this stuff is someone that really knows it and can demonstrate it and prove it out with their students. So if you think you're gonna get your YouTube degree in singing like this, that ain't gonna happen unless you understand how all these vowel exchanges actually work, okay? So I'm not trying to burst your bubble and thinking, okay, I'm gonna take a little from this guy and that guy, and then, just find someone that actually knows how to do this stuff, and then you'll get farther along in it. So anyway, here we go. Next phrase. Whoops. Trying to destroy the song, but we can all just play the song and listen to it. So if that's your thing and you think I'm talking too much, I get people like, you talk too much. It's like, well, then go somewhere else if we don't want to learn how to sing like this, or me to give an analytic on this. There is a certain amount of compression that he's using in his voice also. So I want to be clear about this too. So within a vowel exchange, it's not just the shape of the vowel, but it's also the amount of air that you're using. Now, you've heard me talk about glottal compression, usually in the context of distortion, hyperglottal compression, glottal compression. I've been talking about this for 20-something years. Finally, people are starting to talk about this. How many people know about this? Well, he's actually using it in the true bel canto sense. So if you hear, when he goes bright on the sound, he's pulling back the air and using a bright timbre on the sound. So, you hear him lean into that sound, right? He's actually cutting back the air and getting bright on the tone, chiaro oscuro, which means brightness in the center with warmth around it. So he's actually using a warmer tone, but then you can hear him back off. And then he adds this air. Right? And so he adds the air for effect, for that bedroom voice, articulating bedroom voice, and then he cuts back the air real quick, and then he leans back into the sound to give you this really big, again, going from piano to forte piano, or diminuendo, crescendo, diminuendo back. So it's really interesting because that alone, even within one vowel, has a technique on how to make the vowel brighter while maintaining the warmth, not adding too much air, and projecting that sound. Now, We've also talked about vibrato, and this is also very interesting. So his command of vibrato is really interesting because he can do it at any time. Now, if you listen to a Freddie Mercury, it's kind of like, a hit or miss. Like sometimes he vibrato, sometimes he doesn't. I get the feeling that he just had no command of his vibrato really much at all, whereas Steve Perry did, or someone else like Mickey Thomas does. But if you listen to him, he goes, oh, he can go, oh. And he can have total command. Now, we just did a Singers Then and Now of him, like when he was age 12 and on into 27 or whatever it was. And if you listen to his earlier stuff as a kid, he had a very caprino vibrato, which is a very fast goat's wiggle, as they say in Italian. So, right? But whereas here, you can actually hear him manipulating the speed of the vibrato. You go, he can actually manipulate the vibrato because that actually gives you the ability to have a different tension in the sound. Now, we've talked about vibrato. Where's vibrato? What is vibrato, guys? Let's ask all my singer friends out there. It's the landing of a whole tone, of a strongly supported whole tone, so meaning good breath, good strength in the sound, into a what's called an oscillation. Like if you were to look at a heart monitor, bleep, 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 a form of oscillation, it's relaxing into a state of oscillation to create resonance. Let me give you an example of this. So if I, on an eval, if I go, I can relax into that vowel without forcing it into the throat, and resonance and volume takes over. Now, can I diminuendo, pull the sound back? Yes, of course. I go in and out of this, and we did this we talked a lot about this on a couple other videos, so I don't want to belabor this too much. Look up I have a course, a singing course, how to sing better than anyone else. You can get the course, or you can see all my different videos I have on vibrato on YouTube. But I bring this up because his command is a lot like Maria Callas and some of the greats, where he can go in and out of different waveforms of vibrato. Now, one more thing that's really important when we talk about vibrato. If it's truly a state of relaxation, right? If it's truly a relaxation response, oscillating into a state of relaxation on a whole tone that's been placed, a whole tone vowel, then it must oscillate underneath the tone. What do I mean by that? It's a lot of technical stuff. It means that it must drop below the flat line if it was a heart monitor. So, right? Rather than and kind of a shaking sort of sound. Now, we've talked about this too. We've just mentioned Freddie Mercury. He vibrates above the fold or above the flat line. Elton John vibrates above the flat line. Whitney Houston is below the line. Mariah Carey is below the line. Ariana Grande is below the line. Steve Perry is below the line. Mickey Thomas is below the line. But some of the other ones, Aaron Neville is, right? It's this giant tremolo vibrato. Well, his command, or let's take Manhattan Transfer, it's this real fast trumpet like that, real fast, almost caprino, but controlled vibrato, and deliberate too, by the way. So I wanted to mention that all this technicality is going on in all of this stuff, and you would never know it unless you knew how to dissect it and do a takedown of this stuff. Okay, let's continue. Long-winded thing here, but I thought it was important because it's such a beautiful piece, and it is only one vowel. So here we go. incredible, just absolutely spectacular. Wow, man, just this kind of singing doesn't get any better than this, folks. In fact, he's kind of singing everybody's parts. You know, it's like being a goalie, a defender, a midfielder, and a forward all at once in the same song. The other thing I wanted to mention is I'm capping off talking about vibrato is that in opera, a lot of times people, you know, a lot of opera singers overuse their vibrato, and it gives you a sense of nervousness, or at least it does for me. And the other thing, what I love about Dimash is that he doesn't overuse his vibrato. Like, he knows when to land it, he knows when to use it, when not to use it. It's kind of like a person that can speak well, just even in a language. They know when to drop a 50-cent word or to have a, you know, I like to say apples of gold in settings of silver. It's that appropriate word for the right time that's just very fitting and appropriate to what the actual conversation is about. So in this case, this conversation was beauty. He really reinterpreted Ave Maria. Again, there's only one Dimash, folks, and he's probably going to be one of the greatest tenors that's ever lived. I can't imagine someone else spending more time on their voice. You know, there'll be different colors and maybe a bigger, warmer sound because he doesn't have as much girth maybe as a Luciano Pavarotti or Placido Domingo or Martin Lanza or other people we've talked about, but UC Borling. But anyway, those are some of my favorites. I keep mentioning them because I like them a lot. But all right, so definitely stick around for my next video. I've got more Dimashathon coming your way, and God bless all you guys. And until next time, peace out.